Welcome to Foundations TV, everyone. Our guest on Conversations with Gauri is Adil Hussain, who is an Indian actor who has appeared in more than 60 movies, including The Reluctant Fundamentalist, Life of Pi, and English English. He's known for his work in both Indian and international cinema. Hussain has won several awards, including the Amanda Award for Best Actor in 2018 and the National Award Special Jury Award in 2017. He is currently visiting Austin, Texas for Indie Meme Film Festival, where his film Footprints on Water will be playing on opening night. And he is here with us today in Conversations with Gauri. Welcome to Foundations TV, Adil. It's such a pleasure to have you here with us and in Austin. So welcome to Austin as well.
I'm very, very happy to be here. We're talking to you with Foundation TV, and I'm looking forward to be in this amazing festival, which I had been hearing a lot about, and lot of my films have already come and had been screened there, and I never managed to come, or didn't find time, or whatever the reasons are, I couldn't be there. But I'm very happy that I'm here now.
That's amazing. We're all looking forward to seeing the movie, of course, and we'll get to that. Let's speak about Austin first. Is this your first time in Austin as well?
Yes, it is
Oh,
first time.
wow. Okay. Are you looking forward to exploring it a little bit?
Yeah, I hope I get to do that if the organizers of Indie Meme they do not occupy me with other things which are
Yeah.
which are related to film and press and all that. Otherwise, I'd love to go out and check out what's happening in Austin.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Have you been to other parts of the US? I'm sure you have, right? Other areas, West Coast, East Coast. Just speaking of travel, because you're a traveler too.
I do travel a lot, yes. In the US, not many parts. I had been to West Coast, to San Francisco, LA, Atlanta, this Georgia, Philadelphia, New York, upstate New York, DC area, Maryland, Virginia, and Jersey, and that's all basically. I'd
That's
like to
plenty.
do that's not much. It's a big country, and I'd love to. That's my whole idea. Probably when my time comes, and our son, who is 14, I'd like to drive across the country and see the Grand Canyons and things like that. So yeah, I drove a lot though. I drove a lot last time when I was here.
Wonderful, wonderful. Um, so you've been a traveler all along your life, right?
Yes.
Outside of work as well. You like to, or in earlier part of your life as well. I was just researching a little bit, reading up on
Right.
you, and it looks like
Yeah,
you love to drive. You've ridden a motorcycle across the country, and
I
of
have.
course driving cars everywhere. So
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
us about your adventures.
It wasn't necessarily for the purpose of traveling that I traveled, but it ended up being that. My purpose of traveling in the country in India on motorbikes or cars or vans that I've driven, and I drove and crisscrossed the country several times, several times. I don't remember how many times. But it was not because I am traveling for the sake of traveling. It was
Okay.
in search of, again, it is probably most travelers would unknowingly do that, like I had a purpose of going from different milieu of social existence in terms of very, very rural and rather ancient village system, which at least it existed till 1996, a village where they haven't seen matchboxes or money or car or buses, you know.
Mm,
So to stay there, to stay with them, to sort of merge with their idea of the worldview from that kind of ancient ancient space of living to village and then semi semi-urban, urban, big town, big tier cities, and then metro cities. So that was the purpose for my understanding of society and human beings, and that is definitely because of that I was trying to understand human behavior because I was pursuing acting. So now when I look back, that was how many years ago? 30, almost 30 years ago. I could play a role of a tribal man from a village to a very sophisticated whatever, from metro cities.
Mm-hmm.
So that flexibility within emotional flexibility, um, and flexibility in terms of ideas and views that I gathered during that travel is what is keeping me alive in so many ways that I can fit into roles, any kind of roles that come my way. And probably travelers do that too. Those who are,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
it it broadens your horizon of
it does.
like the diversity of human ideas and worldviews and culture and food and stay and so many things. Yeah,
100%.
I can keep
Yeah.
going. I can write 2 books on it.
No,
So
that's inspiring in itself because no, that's 100% correct. Exploring the world, feeling it firsthand, and then
yeah,
sort of stimulating your own sort of personality and bringing out various perspectives
yeah,
and understanding of those perspectives too. So that's phenomenal, and that's something that I believe a lot of travelers are starting to do now.
yeah,
It's the era of traveling. A lot of
yes,
people are out there
yes,
trying to
yes,
experience life, especially post COVID. And this is what you're
right.
talking about is, very early on. Um, do you feel like you want to do that again at some point, or you feel
Oh
like you've seen it
yes.
all?
No, no, I'd love to. In fact, I'm conspiring to take our son on a motorbike from North America till the tip of South America. So let's see if he has to agree to do it also. I don't want to sort of trick him to it. I want him, I would propose, and he should, he must have the extreme freedom, not even emotionally trying to make me feel good that, oh, I have to, my dad
Yeah.
must feel better about myself, about himself. So I will propose and let's see what happens. And that's one of the dreams I have to do from top to, the end of Chile, that
Oh,
tip,
wow. So the entire continent, not just the
the entire
country.
continent. Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, let's see.
Oh, that's amazing. We'll be looking out for those experiences on your social media. Um,
Yeah.
so another hobby which I read up on was cooking. Are you keeping up with that?
Oh yeah. I cooked yesterday,
Did you? What'd you cook?
just my mom's recipe of very gentle East Indian biryani,
Oh,
which is very light, very gentle, very easy on the tongue, on the stomach as well. Yeah, so I cook all kinds of dishes, all kinds of cuisine from different parts of the country and the world. When I say all, of course, how many can you do actually? It's like never-ending, infinite number of cuisine in the world.
you don't
Um,
restrict yourself to one kind. You kind of do multiple different kinds of cuisines.
yeah, the things which I sort of tasted somewhere or heard that is very tasty and looks amazing in terms of, and not very complicated, not very oily, not very, how do I say, not very heavy on your stomach. Um,
Hmm.
so things like that, which I try, and also the things which our son fancies. And
I know
my
parents,
wife,
us parents like to do
yeah,
that. For
And my
sure.
wife, she also has a different palate altogether. So I try to sort of balance so that, both these amazing people, they can sort of relish. And quite often I succeed, I guess, probably because they don't let me know if they don't like it, or or they really like it and they're honest about it. So I enjoy it very much for sure. I love
Yeah,
cooking. I love it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Is it a de-stressor at all, or just kind of grounding you back to something,
Yeah,
nothingness, or
I do the
Mhm.
opposite. I ground myself first before I cook. So, and
Oh,
probably it further, uh, you know, uh, grounds me and brings me to myself. But I believe that an activity, any activity, it could be, some people they swear by running. Like when they
mm,
run, they feel extremely
right,
connected to oneself. And
right.
but I have been given tools which are um, more than grounding. I have a mentor, spiritual mentor who I had been blessed with for last 23 years, and so I practice that pretty regularly. And I am, yeah, because cooking is very, very serious for me, because I am responsible to become a part of your physical existence. You see, what you eat, it
That's
goes to your
beautiful.
body,
Yeah.
and it goes to your brain, your bones, your veins, your completely
Makes
gets
you who
into
you
the
are, pretty much.
exactly,
Hmm.
not necessarily emotionally, also emotionally, but the physical body, definitely the physical body is
100%.
constructed, it's a accumulation of food in a very different way. So I take it seriously, and I make sure that I am not cluttered. My mind is cleaner, quieter before I go to cook. Yeah.
That's probably a good segue into your acting career in terms of the need for you to disconnect and ground yourself, right? Because the kind of roles you've done they're intense, they're real, they're very closely associated to the real world and real people. How do you how do you prepare yourselves for those roles, and how do you separate yourself from those roles as well?
Um, I think as humans, we all probably could, or I would dare say, should learn to separate ourselves from the submergence into emotions that we are inflicted upon by life, through life, the onslaughts of things and stimuli, which sort of creates emotion within us, and we become pretty much a victim of those. Quite often, I've seen most of the humanity, we are so prone to look at these upheaval of emotions as inevitable. That's let me put it that way.
Hmm.
Um, but it's not true. I think we all can ride on the emotions. We don't need to be submerged. We don't need to be under it. We can be on top of it. We can learn how to ride it, enjoy it, not get drowned in it, or, or for a taken for a ride. You take for a ride. You don't get taken for a ride by emotion. You ride on it. That is a possibility, and I think that was one of the most important segment in my search, while I studied acting, and after I finished my so-called academic 3 year, 4 years of training. Um, and after that, that was my search. How is it possible for a human being, for me, that who call people call me actor, and I think of myself as an actor. Actor means the one who does things, you see, the one who does things, the
Yeah.
doer of an
Yeah.
action, an actor,
Yeah.
not nothing more than that in a way. That
Yeah.
means all of us are actors of in different ways and different by doing different actions. But professionally, when we take it, you are supposed to be in a certain state of being at the drop of a hat, or as soon as the director says action, and I must be ready with it at any given time in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether you are
Yeah.
whether you are happy in your life or what has just happened. Suppose I heard something beautiful has happened and I'm very, very joyous, and the director says, Adil, I would like you to drown in that sorrow. And so I should be able to do it, or the opposite of that. I'm sad and then I have to laugh and love and make love, or whatever, any
Yeah.
amount of demands that I've signed for, and that is the job description. So in order to do that, I needed to learn how it works, how emotions work, where does it happen within the body? How can I access it at will, on demand? How emotions are connected to breath, and how breath is connected to emotions, and what are all the possible ways that I can access my creative reservoir at any given time. So that kind of search, and it's not an intellectual search. It has to be a search like a dancer. You cannot learn acting by reading about it. You have to practice and practice and practice and practice and practice, like any performing art. You cannot learn dancing by reading about dancing. You have to practice 8 hours a day, 24 hours a day, 24. It's like, if you
Yeah.
want to become, it depends also, because what kind of actor you want to become. If you want to become an actor who just shows his personality and some sort of style, and good biceps and triceps, and then it's a different ball game altogether. I was not interested in that. But if you want to be an actor who can shift and move at any given time from the personality that I actually have, and how can I get away from that and get into something, which is your question, that to play a role in a film. So what we found out, or rather I would say that I was helped to find out, that we all have all the personalities within us, all of it. We can call it sub personalities, which is every human being has all the personalities embedded. It depends upon how you can access it and practice it and face it head on, keep it on the desktop so that you can click on it. It's there in the hard drive, hidden somewhere within. It's a reservoir of personalities. I think it's a reservoir of 8 billion personalities right now, that population on the planet Earth, and the those who have passed. So we can access that at will, not only human beings, all the other species. I have experienced it firsthand, so I cannot but tell you, otherwise, that I have experienced quite an amazing number of other species within myself when we were experimenting on it. So yes, coming back to your question that you asked me, how do I prepare? So I allow Adil, which is quieter Adil, not the Adil when he's noisy or irritated, but the larger Adil who is generous, magnanimous, quieter, silent, centered, neutral. That Adil read the play or the script and I try with that, the less I would call it the larger Adil and the lesser Adil. Okay, you will understand
Okay,
that.
sure, yeah.
So the larger Adil to read the script several times to understand what is going on, not intellectually understand, but just to read. And when you're silent, your subconscious works way better than your so-called intelligent mind. So I allow that to be fed. Subconscious
Just
is sort of
absorb
being
it
absorb
slowly.
it and take
Yeah,
it. And I
yeah.
don't think upon it. I do not ponder on it. I do not analyze it. I do not judge it. I do not want to come up with brilliant ideas. If those ideas come, I generally shun it, like completely do not entertain them at all. And then as that larger Adil, how would I behave in this given circumstance, which had been, or circumstances created by the writer director as Adil,
Mm.
but
Mm.
speaking words which are written by somebody else, which I would never do it in life otherwise, in the same circumstance if I had ever faced that specific
Right.
kind. So those are the clues that takes me away from my regular Adilness toward the character, depending upon how much time do I have in order for me to prepare. When I say prepare, I don't prepare how I would do it, but to prepare to absorb more and more and more. And if I have time to rehearse with my co-actors and the director's interpretation, which the director quite often nowadays don't tell me because I've got gray hair. They think, oh, I'll do it. I know how to do it. So I insist upon that. That's why I was totally not happy with this idea of master class because I have no clue, you know.
Oh, you get a lot of questions, so
No, no, that's fine. But I'm saying
yeah,
I don't know. So I start from a space of I don't know what
yeah,
to do, and then we figure it out. And every
right,
time that's the case. And I had been lucky to have mentors who gave me the courage, specifically courage,
yeah,
and to not know and still have the courage to go and try it out.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. No, that's brilliant. I mean, not only have you've brought in your experience, your learning, and you've mastered the craft, but
I have.
well,
I'm
your
very.
work
I'm
speaks.
at the most. I must describe myself. I'm a very, and this is a bragging little bit, but I would not mind. I'm a very keen and eager and curious student of acting. That that much
Beautiful.
I can tell you.
That's
And
amazing.
master, I have seen great masters, and I'm nowhere near them. So
That's amazing. That is really, I mean, wherever you are, and however you've gotten here,
yeah,
you've also found a way to articulate that and share that knowledge. I mean, having a masterclass, of course, speaking of that, is great. But do you have another like a mechanism or a channel where you share this knowledge on a regular basis with somebody or your student, or do you have?
no, unfortunately, because I had been a bit lazy and little caught up with my own work, and I'm not sure how should I do it. I mean, the medium of
Yeah,
sharing. Internet, I mean, I'm talking about how, there could be so many ways like you are doing it now, I'm doing it
right,
now.
right.
Or I generally I am a sucker for physical presence of the.
Yeah, me too. I enjoy that. It's just the limitation.
So I don't want to compromise on that, but yet I realize that so many things I've said in interviews like this, and I've received feedback from new young actors that, oh my God, thank God you said that
Hmm.
sentence, and it really helped me with this. So then I think, oh, maybe I should actually do it. But till I really feel from within,
Yeah.
I'd stay away.
No, I'm sure you'll figure it out. I mean, once you definitely have that. I mean, I've been listening to some of your interviews and just the way you're able to connect with people and how the audiences are able to connect with what you're saying and learn from that. and get inspired, of course, is super amazing. So that's brilliant, of course. I have an interesting question for you, and you may or may not have thought about it, but in general, the world is of acting or cinema is just the way people are consuming information is changing a lot. The attention spans are getting smaller and smaller. And do you feel that? Like, do you sense that being on the side of delivering and the expert in the field? Do you feel a change in the way productions are being made or consumed?
I guess there are certain ideas which are not very, I would say, not very well founded ideas that is being sometime practiced. Oh, this scene must not last more than this minutes. You have very short attention span, but at the same time, I see people devouring content, 8 hours of content, almost sitting in one go.
Binge
So
watching series
binge
and stuff.
watching.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So where the attention span is working there. So I think it's a matter of what it is probably doing, and which probably is a very, very interesting step on the ladder of evolution in terms of narrative uh, storytelling, is that we need to be very good at it now.
Hmm.
We need to be really good at it to hold, to make intensely engaging storytelling, which without that, probably we would not even survive anymore. You can keep, if you can keep mediocrity, probably this will kill mediocrity,
Yeah.
or it will give birth to short videos of like 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 20 seconds. I don't even know. I don't do reels and all that. So there's so much of content, you just have to scroll, and you see. On the other hand, uh, you there is what I have observed so far is that there is a lot of dark content, which through which the content creators are trying to grab your attention. When I say dark, means the the heaviness of humanity, the lower depths of humanity. There's crime, there's violence,
Yeah.
there's dark aspects of human existence, human conditions. So those are people will get bored with that as well. You see, because there's so much of it on any platform I have seen is just darkness filled with human the lower depth of human condition. It's like
Yeah. Yeah.
unbelievably uh, tragic to some extent, because I think we are capable of doing much, much better.
Hmm.
So attention span, to hold attention span, and yet you are helping mass audiences to aspire for something in life. You need to be a very good storyteller, and one example of such storytelling is Life of Pi, and I'm
Mhm.
very, very happy that I'm part of that film. And when I saw the film, and I was totally mesmerized. Um, there's no star in that film. Irfan, Tabu, Suraj, and I, mostly four characters, and one Jagad Depadeo has a very one scene. Apart from that, there's no star, but it talks about something so complex and at the same time so beautiful and so ambiguous. And it earned $1 billion in 2012.
Yeah.
So, and that kind of storytelling needs a lot of hard work and expertise of storytelling. So nowadays, people, those who have anybody who has a camera or a little bit of access to money or knows somebody in the production house, they're making something which is, and they're very skilled, like vultures, they're very skilled people, skilled species, but they look down and looking at carcass all the time to look for, the leftover of human bodies or other species they eat. It's That's the metaphor that comes to my mind, that we are skilled filmmakers, skilled people, but looking at lower depths of humanity. And
That's
that,
amazing. It's just an amazing thought that you've just articulated. It's brilliant.
so this thought was shared with me by my acting teacher, and
Mm,
I instantly agreed. I was like, that is so true, and why should it be like that?
mm,
Why this amazing powerful medium that we have access to, filmmakers and the people, those who consume
yeah,
content, that we
yeah,
can use it for something which to uplift our awareness, to create what we are missing, to create a world. I'm not saying goody goody beautiful romantic love. No, absolutely not. I'm
yeah,
saying to celebrate human complexity, also to celebrate human complexity with a hope that we can do better than this.
yeah,
We can do better than what we are doing right now on the planet. We can do better in terms of consumption of all kinds. The 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 what do you call that, the attraction towards opulence that we have, and that is one of the, not one of the, probably one of, yeah, prime reason for the condition of the planet right now, climatically.
yeah,
How much do we need, where do I draw the line? How do we how do we care and have or create deep empathy for the rest of humanity, not only of my country or my neighborhood or my family and my son and my wife, and how is it possible for us to become more empathetic? So, and powerful medium like cinema plays a very important part. It can be used, and it has been now weaponized to do the opposite.
yeah. That's sad. Yes,
So
because it's so powerful.
it's so powerful. So when you have such tool in your hands, you need to be way more responsible. The cliche sentence that power comes with
Comes
responsibility,
with responsibility. Yeah,
which is
for sure.
so true. So there, I think it's a good idea that we have less attention span for things which are not really good. So mediocrity will go away, hopefully. I'm not a social scientist, just from my limited knowledge of understanding human behavior. I've not done my doctorate, though they conferred me a doctorate in my university. But I was like, really? Oh, what have I done? He said, they do 3 years of research. You've done 30 years of research. So I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, that makes sense. Fine, I'll accept it. What I'm trying to tell you is that without being a social scientist or a psychologist or clinical psychologist, what I'm seeing around, I'm just with my limited under capability of reasoning, I'm coming to this conclusion, what I said right now, that probably mediocrity would disappear,
mm,
and it will be filled with this dark content, and from then when we get bored with that, probably that will come to us at the end of the day, as they say, there is light. And I'm truly optimistic and hoping for the light to show
mm.
up.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. I know those are some real hopeful thoughts, for sure. And I think for someone who's experienced life in so many different ways, developed so much perspective, and also showcased it via all the roles that you have played, I think that's very insightful. Um, does your son ever bring up a whole new perspective for you, which comes as a surprise. I mean, that generation and, 13, 14 year olds, or is there
Yeah.
like that something that just surprises you and you're like, oh, I hadn't thought of that. I didn't know that was coming, you know?
Yeah. And so far what he's done, I'm not sure that I would be able to pick any examples of that, but
Mm,
for sure what he's doing is making me more humble,
mm,
um, to because to get through to him or to communicate something which is delicate in terms of complexities and is
yeah.
subtle and nuanced. I need to be uh, so grounded and so not be in a position of power.
Mm,
Like, okay, I'm your dad telling you this. No. So, and then it doesn't work because that tone and that hierarchy and that kind of sitting on a high horse, that
yeah.
energy which emanates and to vibrate, I start vibrating as like, oh, I'm the father. Okay, you don't know anything about it. Let me tell you. So what he's doing is that he completely ignores me. If I come, even if he smells it, iota of that. So that way he's helping me to sort of come
Level
to an
up. Yeah.
equal space, that he's an individual, I'm an
Yeah.
individual. The only probably thing I have on, not even on my side, probably, against me, is that I came much before him on the planet. That's not his fault. It wasn't my intention, but
Yeah.
it happened
It
that
so
way.
happens.
Not
Yeah.
give me an advantage that I'm not ready to share with him. That
Yeah.
advantage he should also have. So that is giving me the ability to have this deep empathy for where he is coming from with his logic and ideas. Has he
Yeah.
surprised me so far? He surprised me only when I underestimated him. Otherwise, he did
Oh,
not.
wow. That's nice. Well, that's
Yeah.
great. That's great. Well, that's wonderful. No, it's been such a pleasure chatting with you, Adil. Thank you so much, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the movie. Now, this movie has been playing in multiple film
Yeah.
festivals, right? How's the response been? Reactions? Anything that stood out for you?
Yes, 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 yes. Everywhere, in a way. Even in India, I was not expecting that kind of strong,
Hmm.
intense reactions, but abroad as well as people, those who are not immigrants, local people like Germany or in Ottawa or in England, in which other places, Cincinnati, and few more places in Europe. Local people, those who are not immigrants or their forefathers, or at least one generation, and not Indian or South Asian, but local white folks. They were very touched. They had no idea that this is the intensity of the misery that these
Yeah.
characters are going through. And people, those who are immigrants, those who have come from Southeast Asia, they were shocked. They had red eyes. I have seen them like sobbing. Uh, Quite a lot of them said, "Oh my God, you reminded me of my dad's or my mom's, reality and the struggle that they had gone through." And it is eye-opening because, and also in India, that this rosy picture that they have of the West, that, oh, you go
Yes.
there and that just things happen and
Yes.
everybody is happy. That's not the case. So
That's
the,
not
the
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 case.
trouble never leaves you. Trouble
Yeah.
always will follow you till you grow up, till you become a mature human being. I
True.
guess
True.
that's the
True.
way nature
Yeah.
works. No
It
matter where you
does.
hide, it'll find you to help you grow. That's my mystical understanding of what that you cannot run away from trouble. You can run away from one trouble to get into a bigger trouble.
Yeah.
So that way, the film has done pretty well to connect with people. Of course, it has won several awards for the director, for me, and I hope that people in Austin, both the locals and those who have, from another race and background, they will connect with it. And yeah, I'm really, really curious to see the responses, or hear their questions asked. They will ask questions. So I'm very, very
Yes.
looking forward to
Yes.
listen to
Yes.
them.
I just watched the trailer and I
Oh, you
was
did? Okay.
in tears after just, a minute or two watching that, and even
Yeah,
feeling it for a minute
very
was
strong.
pretty intense for me. So I do look forward to attending it. What are your upcoming projects?
I have just finished uh, shooting for two films, and one is called 52 Blue, which is an American Egyptian project. Story set in Kerala and Qatar. Uh, it's a beautiful story. Neha Dhupia and she plays my wife,
Yes.
and I play the father of this amazingly talented actor who wants to, um, you know, go out of the country and wants to become a footballer or a dancer. Don't want to spoil I don't want to give spoilers. The other film is called Ulaj. I think the teaser just came out yesterday, where I play the father to Sridevi's daughter. It's sort of a full circle in a way.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
it's a thriller. It's a diplomatic thriller. I think it looks very good on the teaser. Preparing to shoot something in July, and which is a beautiful story of it's called Retirement, but they might change the name. A couple which the man of the house just retired, and then how useless he feels, and disappoints his wife who was waiting for his retirement so that they can spend more time with each other, and then things happen. And
Yeah.
another film which I am just now reading and I'm loving it, can't talk about it much. It's a huge film, Indian film. So yeah, yeah,
Super exciting. I can't wait to watch all of them. Some of them I can relate to already. So I'm counting days. Thank you so much, Adil. It's
pleasure.
been a wonderful talking to you.
Wonderful talking to you too, and I hope to see you in Austin.
Yes, I will be there for sure, for
Yeah,
sure. And I'll be there for the Q&A as well. I'm really looking forward to
okay.
that.